Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
It's really nice and quiet, but we can't go swimming.
We're just dipping our legs in now. We're not really swimming, we're not submerging ourselves in it.
E. coli in the water. The list of beaches in Metro Vancouver under no swim advisories continues to grow. What's behind the spread? Plus,
I'm very grateful that she will be with us much longer now. I was terrified when she lost her medication.
a mother's relief. BC reinstates funding to treat a young Langford girl's rare disease. And
the message is that we all have a critical role to conserving our water this summer.
with more than 60% of the province facing moderate drought levels, officials are urging people to do what they can to conserve water as more hot and dry weather approaches.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Multiple Vancouver beaches are under no swim advisories due to dangerous levels of E. coli. Health officials are warning infections can lead to vomiting, nausea, and diarrhea. As Mira Baines reports, Vancouver Coastal Health is monitoring and testing levels, but honing in on the exact cause has been difficult.
Health officials say it's unusual to see this many beaches in Metro Vancouver with high levels of E. coli bacteria. Despite the no swim advisories, not everyone is staying away from the water and the beaches.
We're just dipping our legs in now. We're not really swimming, we're not submerging ourselves in it.
It's really nice and quiet, but we can't go swimming.
There are no swim advisories at almost every beach in Vancouver, and investigations are underway at others.
Not very commonly do we see so many all at the same time.
Notices are up at beaches including Tower Beach, Second Beach, Third Beach, Kitsilano, Sunset Beach, English Bay, Trout Lake, as well as Dunderave Beach and Lions Bay. What's causing the E. coli levels to multiply?
Typical sources that we see are from runoff from sewers or leaking sewage. Other human sources can include discharge from boats that might be on the water. Animal sources like dogs and birds in the area can be a source of contamination with E. coli as well.
Health officials are still trying to pinpoint the exact reason. And with another stretch of hot summer weather, there is some concern boats on the water could lead to higher bacteria levels,
especially with some of the festivals that we have coming around. So there's that possibility that discharge from boats might be contributing to it.
Skookum Yacht Services pumps out waste from boats, otherwise known as black water, to keep it out of local waters. He says boat owners are generally responsible, but admits rules aren't strict.
So it's the federal rules are pretty open-ended, very much open to interpretation, and there's absolutely no enforcement of them, at all.
Some boaters say sewage overflows could be contributing to the problem.
In the creek, and you can see it, it's as if you had a mouthful of milk and you blew it through a straw into a glass of milk. You can see it bubbling up, and when you're close to it, you can smell it. It smells like poop.
The swimming advisories are in place until follow-up samples show that the water is safe. For now, the advice is to stay out of the water, and if you do, wash off afterwards, especially before handling food. Mira Baines, CBC News, Vancouver.
A Vancouver Island family is relieved by a provincial decision to continue funding expensive medication for a rare condition. Earlier this summer, Charlie Pollock and her family learned her $1 million medication to treat Batten disease was being pulled. As Chad Pawson reports, BC's health minister is now explaining the flip-flop.
Charlie Pollock is now 10 years old, born with fatal Batten disease. It causes daily seizures, leading to brain damage and death. For 6 years, it's been slowed with an expensive drug called Brineura.
Before Charlie started Brineura, she had over 100 seizures a day, and she was in pain and she was suffering, and we were very grateful that British Columbia brought Brineura in, and she started on the drug, and she's been stable for years. She is one of the happiest little girls I've ever met.
Bernura cost $1 million a year. The province announced it would stop funding the drug, saying an independent assessment showed it was no longer helping Charlie. Her family was heartbroken and disagreed with the assessment. They provided evidence, a letter written by 13 medical experts saying Charlie would still benefit from the drug and that the criteria around it was outdated.
We've given them tons of information and evidence, and it just dragged out a very long time. And then they did receive a letter yesterday from a collaborative of bat disease experts around the world, showing that this is absolutely the wrong decision.
The province reversed course, with Health Minister Josie Osborne apologizing, saying the girl and her family shouldn't suffer because of disagreement by experts.
There is a significant enough disagreement between different professionals and different experts in these fields that it needs to be resolved in a different way, and that it can't be resolved, again, with having Charlie's family put through the uncertainty that they've been put through.
Osborne has ordered 3 actions. 1, a thorough evidence-based assessment of Bernura. 2, asking Bernura's maker to request a federal review of the current reimbursement criteria. And 3, asking Ottawa to expedite the implementation of a national strategy for drugs for rare diseases.
So that no family like Charlie's is ever caught in the middle of something like this when facing a devastating diagnosis of Batten disease.
Pollock's family says they want these changes. In the meantime, they mean to get back to enjoying life together for as long as they can.
I just love that little human more than anybody in the whole world. And I'm very grateful that she will be with us much longer now. I was terrified when she lost her medication, and I'm just going to focus every single day towards her.
Chad Pawson, CBC News, Vancouver.
CBC News has learned today 4 members of BC's Expensive Drugs for Rare Diseases Committee have resigned in the wake of this issue. The Ministry of Health confirmed those resignations in a brief statement today. It says there are approximately 50 members on the committee, which includes subcommittees. Provincial officials are asking residents to do what they can to conserve water. BC is facing more hot and dry weather conditions in the coming weeks, and experts say this year's drought season will be worse than the last. Georgie Smythe has more.
In BC's desertscape interior, a salmon hatchery props up threatened coho and chinook in a drought. This creek flanks the facility, but in the summer the water gets too shallow, hot and low in oxygen.
The warmer it gets, the more stress it has on the fish. The weaker fish are going to die.
So the river and ocean-going species are raised in groundwater.
So this is our aeration tower,
which is re-oxygenated on site and flows into the tanks to keep the fish alive. It's one solution to BC's increasingly hot and dry summers. More than 60% of the province is currently at elevated levels of drought. It's a year-on-year problem also connected to less snowfall in the winter.
August into September, when the fish are spawning, there's no snow left on the mountains, so the water is getting hotter than it normally would if you had still had snowmelt running into there.
Prolonged drought has become so complex here, the province is now changing how it communicates the stakes to the public. An interactive online map, which once only reported drought severity, will be upgraded to show extra data, including how much water a community has stored for use and how well rivers and creeks are flowing.
The message is that we all have a critical role to conserving our water this summer, especially in areas where we're facing water scarcity.
The changes also bring BC in line with US and Mexico drought reporting to help monitor broader trends.
So it's really looking at that bigger picture of how we're using water and where the priorities of that water use really need to fall. At the end of the day, we want to ensure that there's enough water within our aquatic ecosystems to support those fish habitats and the other wildlife.
The province says these new measures are ultimately about increasing resiliency. Climate change is driving more extreme and unpredictable weather here, and BC needs to be ready. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, near Merritt, BC.
The Vancouver Ice Cream Festival is back. 35 sweet spots across Metro Vancouver are being featured in a self-guided tour until August 4th. Our Shivani Joshi went to check out one spot that's serving up a unique flavor.
I'm here at Little Pisces in Burnaby with my ice cream passport in hand, ready to try their latest creations for this year's ice cream festival. Let's check it out.
At our Lougheed location, we are featuring the mango sticky rice soft serve. So mango sticky rice is a very, traditional Southeast Asian dessert. And so we've really tried to mimic the flavors of that in a soft serve form. So it is a little bit more, the stickiness is there in terms of the soft serve texture. We use a coconut milk in there. It's a vegan base, so it is friendly to all customers. And we do use a little bit of pandan extract in there as well as salt to create that umami flavor that the mango sticky rice usually has. It's been incredible so far. The mango sticky rice has been really popular here. We've had a lot of really good feedback from it. It's been really great because it helps target a specific audience of people that really enjoy soft serve during the summer. And in Vancouver, we have so many foodies. We like to trial with various different flavors across the Asian diaspora. We wanted to explore definitely some of the more Asian flavors. During the festival, we hear a lot of people come from various parts of the Metro Vancouver area come to our store. So we'll have people tell us from North Van. That's really inspiring, because it helps bring so many people together. And as somebody who works at the front, I love getting to know customers, and that's how you really build a connection and a community within the store.
Darius Madavi joins us now with a first look at our weather. And Darius, I hear there's some lightning on the way.
That's right. Lots of lightning both on the way this weekend and currently happening in the interior, or at least, was happening earlier today. We've seen a fair amount of precipitation moving through these areas. You can see we had those severe thunderstorm watches and warnings across parts of BC. Those will likely return at times throughout this weekend because things remain a bit unstable in the wake of that low pressure system that continues to move off of BC. Fire danger remains high here on the south coast as well as up the coast, but the BC-Alberta border remains a little bit lower. We'll talk more about that low pressure system sweeping through and why it matters later in the show.
Thanks so much, Darius.
Thank you.
An annual summer tradition kicks off this weekend, but this year is a little different. Only Canadian teams will compete at the Celebration of Light show, and it starts with Team Yukon. Pinky Wong brings us a sneak peek behind the scenes.
This year's Celebration of Light is kicking off on Saturday, and this is where they will be launching the fireworks.
We are installing the first show of Celebration, which is Yukon, and our job as part of all of us, as part of the crew, as part of the team, is to install the fireworks as they have requested them to go.
This is a fireworks shell. It's a 4-inch or 100 millimeter. This ball on the top is what gets propelled into the sky. How it works is we send a signal from all the way down there on our computer to this little wire, which has a match head on the end, and it looks actually like a match.
What we're looking at here is a red mine. So the mine effects will be a bunch of stars erupting right out of the top, sort of like a big blast. So that'll be a big sort of like splatter of red. We've also got blue mines in here, time rain tail, which is a comet effect. So it'll be a fireball with a glittering tail behind it.
It's really interesting this year with it being all Canadian teams that we actually do get to represent the Yukon and be Team Yukon, which is really neat. One of our trademarks is having set pieces. We always have a set piece in our show.
So the multiple structures together are making one big image. And all of these other pieces are various tentacles that we have all over the barge. So essentially by adding together a whole bunch of different set pieces together, we're creating one big image of a 400 foot long squid.
Probably one of the biggest ones we've ever created, and it takes an enormous amount of time to set this up, and it doesn't last very long. That's the funny part that we keep talking about, but I think it's going to look pretty cool, and it's going to be worth all this effort.
Pinky Wong, CBC News, Vancouver.
It's a fight over parking spaces in Port Coquitlam. A new development says they don't need the number of parking spots required by the city. The city's concerns next. The Burnaby Fire Department says 4 people were taken to hospital and dozens of others were displaced late last night due to a gas leak. The department says someone called complaining of a chemical odor on Wiggin Street in Burnaby's Big Bend neighborhood. Crews found traces of bromine gas coming from an industrial warehouse. Bromine is used in various applications such as swimming pool water treatment and cooling towers. More than 80 people were displaced when nearby buildings were evacuated. People reported feeling throat and lung irritation. 4 workers nearby had to be taken to the hospital. Officials say there is no ongoing risk of exposure. Two elderly women are in hospital with serious injuries after a hit and run in Burnaby last night. When police arrived at Willingdon Avenue and Union Street, they found two women aged 73 and 85 suffering from serious injuries. Both were transported to the hospital. Mounties say the driver who hit the women did not remain at the scene. They are canvassing the area for surveillance footage and asking witnesses to come forward. This is the second pedestrian hit and run involving a senior in Metro Vancouver in under a week. A woman is dead and a man is in custody after a suspected homicide this morning in Richmond. Police say officers responded to a report of a serious incident at a home in the 8600 block of Capstan Way. The victim was transported to the hospital where she eventually died. There are no details on a motive, but police say there's no ongoing risk to the public. In Port Coquitlam, a proposed affordable rental building for people living with disabilities is at a standstill. As Michelle Morton reports, BC Housing and the city can't agree on the project terms, largely because of parking.
BC Housing and the nonprofit New View Society are proposing an affordable rental building for people living with mental health challenges on this lot owned by the province. It would have 74 units and just 18 parking stalls because a majority of the tenants are not expected to own a vehicle.
They would utilize local transit that might be available to them. They often will bike and find alternative arrangements for transportation.
But the mayor says the lack of parking spaces conflicts with local bylaws, which indicate one parking space must be allocated per unit. And he's concerned ownership of the building could change after the proposed 5-year agreement.
If the logic is, hey, the people who are going to live here don't drive as frequently, you're not going to have the same requirement for the number of parking stalls that you would normally have, then they should have no issue with providing them a long-term agreement so we know that that is, who's going to be housed there.
These nearby residents were not concerned about the reduced parking in the neighborhood.
This is very close to town. It would be easy for them to get to town.
What's kind of a higher value parking or providing kind of low income housing for people who need it?
The province says it has set aside more than $43 million for this project and is frustrated it's being stalled.
It's unfortunate that parking often gets used to either block housing or in cases block people that they don't want in their community. And I certainly hope that's not the case in this situation.
West denies this being the case in Port Coquitlam and doubles down that he only wants to see a longer agreement in place to ensure housing security for those future tenants.
I have full confidence that this agreement would be extended beyond 5 years. We have current agreements with BC Housing that we've had in place for more than 30 years.
If BC Housing and the city can't come to an agreement, the province says it will move the funding for this project to another community in need of it. Michelle Morton, CBC News, Port Coquitlam.
A mixed bag of a day at the St. Eugene Resort near Cranbrook, and more of a mix to come province-wide with sun, rain, storms, and much more. Darius has your full provincial forecast coming up.
I think it's important to give a human face to the stories that we hear every day, the people that they affect. And I think talking to those people is what really gives us the true sense of the impact of the stories that we're hearing.
Donald Trump has now sued for libel to combat a Wall Street Journal report. It details a letter Trump allegedly sent to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, suggesting they shared secrets. As Katie Nicholson shows us, the White House is also moving to quell questions.
The day after a bombshell story from the Wall Street Journal about the U.S. president's friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you.
Donald Trump, uncharacteristically disciplined, avoided any mention of the scandal and ignored questions from reporters.
Mr. President, why not go further than just unsealing this?
His fury so far confined to social media, where he called the story fake and said, "I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him and his pile of garbage newspaper, the Wall Street Journal." Trump has now filed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the media mogul, the paper, and the 2 journalists who worked on the story. But the Journal is standing by it. It's about a 2003 letter Trump allegedly sent to Epstein for his birthday, which included a hand-drawn image of a naked woman and an imaginary conversation between the 2 men implying a shared secret. CBC News has not independently verified the Journal's report.
We need to get to the bottom of Epstein, because Epstein is the key that picks the lock.
Trump has been facing a firestorm among the MAGA faithful after failing to release the federal sex trafficking investigation files on his former friend. Then this story dropped.
This is the kind of stuff, frankly, that rallies the base, the mega base behind President Trump. This will actually energize them, and that's a big component here.
After the Journal story, Trump ordered his DOJ to produce pertinent grand jury testimony in the Epstein case.
This is massive. This is something that we've been talking about for quite some time, and really a power to the grassroots. And thank you, President Trump.
And while that's satisfying some, it may just be a sleight of hand, shifting the onus from the president to a judge.
This is just about Trump being able to say something to take a little bit of heat off himself in the face of this Wall Street Journal story.
Donald Trump isn't pulling any punches as he celebrates the cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, but others are furious that CBS would suddenly end the program. Eli Glasner reports.
Before we start the show, I want to...
This Late Show started with a change of tone.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And... yeah, I share your feelings.
CBS calls the choice not to replace Colbert and end the show a financial decision against a challenging backdrop. Reaction came fast from fans.
They're bowing down to fascism, and Stephen Colbert stood up.
And friends.
He's a great, great guy. They just cut NPR and, public broadcasting. Yes, they're trying to silence people.
Colbert is no fan of Trump, but earlier this week he called out the behavior of his corporate bosses, Paramount.
Paramount paid Donald Trump a $16 million settlement over his 60 Minutes lawsuit.
In November, Trump launched a $20 billion lawsuit against CBS for the editing of a 60 Minutes interview with then Vice President Kamala Harris. In the end, CBS owner Paramount agreed to pay $16 million to a Trump library.
This kind of complicated financial settlement with a sitting government official has a technical name in legal circles. It's big fat bribe. Because this all comes as Paramount's owners are trying to get the Trump administration to approve the sale of our network to a new owner.
To compete with bigger platforms, Paramount struck an $8 billion deal to merge with Skydance. But here's the thing, it still needs Washington approval.
The timing of this makes the inference that there was pressure from the Trump administration inescapable.
Now the Writers Guild of America is demanding an investigation into whether The Late Show was canceled to court the whims of the president. But while the world of streaming has changed how we watch, so has the late-night audience. Gone are the days of late-night talk shows being the center of pop culture. Chances are the last time you watched a clip from a late-night show was on your phone, not the couch. Colbert is still the most popular host, but times have changed.
You're talking about 4 million to 6 million back in the Letterman-Leno days. Now, Colbert has the largest network audience at about 2.4 million.
While other late-night hosts are already expressing their support, Colbert will have another 10 months to speak to Americans before The Late Show ends in May. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
Because of Trump's tariff war, many Canadians are choosing to not travel south of the border these days. In an effort to bring them back, Vermont is sending them a strong message by renaming a street in their honor. Gloria Enrique has the story.
This is Church Street in Burlington, Vermont. It's a street that normally would see its fair share of Canadian tourists during the summer. But this year, things are different. And Vermont officials say they want to change that by turning Church Street into Canada Street.
Tourism is down from Canada because of the divisive rhetoric that's coming out of Washington, D.C. So we really wanted to sort of do something that was meaningful and sent a strong statement to our friends in Canada that you are welcome here, that you are our friends, you're our neighbors. We hope you'll come and visit us.
Bottom line is businesses are hurting, like this souvenir gift shop.
Usually throughout the day, we have people coming through every few minutes. You know, there's never a second alone in the store. But recently I've been going, 30 minutes to hours with no customers coming through. So it's been a lot different than other years.
According to the state treasury, about 750,000 Canadian visitors come to Vermont each year and spend roughly $150 million. But as of May, border crossings were down 38% year over year, and credit card spending was down 56%.
Certainly from a business perspective, it's hurtful. But more importantly, just from the social relationship that we have with Canada and with Quebec in particular, we miss it. We miss that relationship, and we know it's been damaged.
Political tensions aren't the only thing affecting tourism. There's also the exchange rate, because with a stiffer American dollar, Canadian dollars don't go a long way here. And then there's also something Montrealers are very familiar with: construction.
We definitely are feeling the impacts of all of the different sort of external factors that are happening right here on Church Street.
But the initiative is starting to pay off.
Do you think you're going to have more visits now?
I absolutely do, yes, and I'm looking forward to that. In fact, a whole bunch of family is coming in a couple of weeks.
Vermont officials say it's a matter of survival, because if Canadians don't make their way back here soon, they fear some businesses won't be able to keep their doors open. Gloria Enriquez, CBC News, Burlington, Vermont.
Beer and wine are often summer staples, but these days ready-made cocktails are creating more of a buzz than their traditional competitors, including over how much of a buzz they give you. Anis Haydari has more.
Cutwater canned drinks pack a punch, at least according to social media.
12.5%.
Like 1 can, I'm drunk. 2 cans, I'm near blackout.
Ain't no way a little bitty can hit you like you took 4 shots.
These beverages are known as ready-to-drink or RTD. And it's not just one brand. Their alcohol levels have a wide range, often higher than a typical can of beer.
People want things that are maybe twice as strong as your average RTD, and so that's why they're bottling them at 10 or 11%. They're producing that because there's a demand for it. Now, whether people are noticing that or not is a whole other matter.
Regardless of whether people notice the booze, retailers are noticing their buying habits. Ready-to-drink beverage sales are up. Last year, 9.5% higher in Ontario, more than 6% higher in Alberta. At the same time, wine and beer sales dropped. Convenience could be one reason.
Because I can now buy my vodka soda or my margarita, or I can buy any of these things in a very convenient package that tastes great, and I don't have to go buy a bottle of tequila or a bottle of vodka or a bottle of something else and a mixer and mix it myself.
But experts point out many consumers assume a can is a can is a can. With RTDs, their guess might be wrong.
It's like equivalent to a glass of wine, so I have a couple of these, I'm okay. And I'm not doing 5 shots in a row in a bar.
Maybe not 5 shots in a row, but some cans definitely have more kick than a glass of wine.
The average consumer is probably just assuming they're all going to be about the same, and so there won't be that much difference.
The advice, buyer beware, check the label, or the drinker will end up drunker. Anis Haydari, CBC News, Calgary.
Extreme skydiver Felix Baumgartner, famous for jumping from the edge of space in 2012, has died in a paragliding accident in Italy. Briar Stewart has more on what happened and the legacy he leaves behind.
Felix, disconnect.
It was a world's first watched by millions. When Felix Baumgartner jumped from the edge of space in 2012, he set a record for being the first person to break the sound barrier while skydiving. During his more than 4-minute free fall, he reached a top speed of 1,350 kilometers per hour.
There's the chute.
When he pulled his parachute and eventually landed in a field in New Mexico, it was heralded as a success. It was his most high-profile stunt in a life marked by big risks and adrenaline.
When I was standing there on top of the world, you become so humble, you do not think about breaking records anymore.
Baumgartner died Thursday after crashing near a swimming pool at a tourist resort in Italy. At the time, he was in this motorized paraglider. In recent days, he had taken multiple videos of various flights along the Adriatic coast. Reports suggest that the 56-year-old may have had a medical issue midair. I thought he was landing, says this eyewitness, but then I saw him fall. Baumgartner's jump in 2012 was sponsored by Red Bull, the energy drink maker.
He'd dreamt about that since a kid, and it was just a joy and a kind of really proud to have been part of that journey with him.
At the time, the jump broke several records, including the largest live stream audience on YouTube. It pushed the limits of what was humanly possible and brought the edge of space to a captivated global audience. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
After the break, Danielle Smith demands the town of Jasper apologize and retract a report criticizing the Alberta government for its role in last summer's devastating wildfire. Alberta's premier is demanding an apology tonight after the province was criticized in a report examining the joint response to the Jasper wildfire. Julia Wong now on how Danielle Smith is firing back.
It happened so quickly. Flames devastating a jewel of the Rocky Mountains. Nearly 1 year ago, wildfire destroyed 1/3 of the buildings in Jasper, Alberta. Nathan Deer's house was spared, but he's thinking about what happens next time.
What can we do to improve and to try and ensure that if this ever happens again in any of the other national parks, that we can do better.
A newly released report commissioned by the town looked at how all levels of government work together to save lives and property. Parks Canada and the town of Jasper led the response. But the report found while the Alberta government provided support and personnel, it also hampered efforts, requesting information and trying to make decisions. Jurisdictional overlap, the report says, that took away from the wildfire response.
It's unfair, it's untrue.
Alberta's premier flat out rejects that. Did the province make the situation worse in Jasper?
We absolutely did not.
The report was prepared by 2 consulting firms hired by the town. It says it's not out to lay blame, but Smith says the province is being singled out.
Whatever it is that they are trying to do to deflect blame, I'm not impressed with it, and I would ask for an apology from the city.
The municipality of Jasper declined to respond to the premier's comments. It says the report is focused on improving emergency response and coordination. Deer says he can imagine there were too many cooks in the kitchen.
So I'm sure the intentions were well placed, but it seems from this report that their efforts could have been put to better use in other areas.
The report has several recommendations, such as improving evacuation planning, training, and equipment compatibility. These reflections coming with the 1-year anniversary of the fire right around the corner. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
Darius Madavi is back with a look at our weather. Darius?
I wanted to start by looking at talking a little bit about the update that federal officials gave today, looking at the fire season that we have coming up in the next couple months. First up, July. As you can see, the forecast severity across Western Canada is high and highest, most extreme, in southern BC. That is basically what we've been talking about for the last quite a while now with the high fire danger here in the south. But as you can see, this is unusual also for this time of year. It is above average levels of fire severity. If we look at August, it's a similar situation, but that high to extreme fire danger spreads across the southern parts of Western Canada along the Canadian-US border, and that is much higher than normal across Western Canada. So strap in, still a few more months of potentially pretty intense fire season ahead. This is largely driven by a lack of precipitation that we've seen across, again, the region. You can see here the red areas are places where we've had less than 50%, less than half the normal amount of rain, and that is even more intense, much less than half the amount of rain in some areas, including large parts of BC. Now here, and that was, over the last 3 months, April, May, June. This is what we're looking at right now in terms of the weather situation. You can see that low pressure system continuing to really be the dominant force in the province. The high pressure off the coast having a hard time breaking in. So expect a few more days of unsettled, stormy weather in the interior and some cloudier, cooler conditions here on the coast. And those cool conditions also spread into the interior as well. Hopefully, we're going to see a fair amount of precipitation with those storms, especially once we get into early next week in parts of the interior. But I wouldn't hold your hopes up for too significant amount of rain, especially down along the Canadian-US border. It seems like that's an area where we're not expecting to see too much rain. In the grand scheme of things, there might be a few hours of precipitation there. Conditions across the province tomorrow, we start to see those temperatures, fluctuate a little bit, but stay pretty steady until early next week when they really come up. Conditions across the province tomorrow, here we go. Thunderstorms across much of the interior, highest levels of smoke up in the northeast, but pretty clear here on the south coast. And here's our 5-day forecast. Janelle, expect some clearing skies tomorrow afternoon and then mixed right through early next week.
Well, Darius, since it is Friday, guess what? It's fun fact time, and today's fun fact, Darius, is?
Well, Canada's chief science advisor says it's time we had an agency in charge of managing public reports of UFO sightings. That might sound like a Canadian version of Men in Black, but not exactly. This is a chart of how many Canadians surveyed said they had seen something in the sky they could not explain, a UFO of some sort, and almost 30% said they did. But look at how many of those people actually reported what they saw. This next chart, very, very few. Less than 10% of the people who saw something knew where to go. Because where do you go? For a long time, back in the last century, we had an agency, the National Science Foundation, in charge of responding to some of those things and collecting that data. Today, that responsibility is split among many different agencies. And so where do you go? And so the report suggested get an agency, put it under the Canadian Space Agency, or other people have suggested putting it under a university, do the education, let people know, and take that stigma away. Because a lot of times, it's just something unexplained. It doesn't necessarily mean you believe in aliens. And to really show you that, Janella, I'm going to show you some videos that people have seen. Take a look at this one, and you tell me what you think that actually is. Is that a UFO, or is it something else? What do you think?
I believe it's a plane.
It is, in fact, flying Chinese lanterns. Here, you can see.
I was way off.
Yeah, let off for somebody's birthday, which is pretty cool. And there are many, many other examples just like that.
That's very cool. Have you ever seen a UFO?
I have not. Have you?
No, I haven't, but there's always time for more. True. Thanks so much, Darius.
Thank you.
Week one of our search for BC's best symbol has come to an end. There are 32 items left, setting up some big battles next week. Bracket master Justin McElroy breaks it all down next.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and here's what's in your CBC inbox.
Did you hear? CBC Musical Nooners are back. Free concerts Wednesdays at noon at the CBC Outdoor Plaza. To see who's playing this week, head to cbc.ca/musical nooners and experience culture and flavors from around the world at the Surrey Fusion Festival, July 19th and 20th. Make sure to stop by the CBC tent to play games and win prizes. Details at surreyfusionfestival.ca.
In the Northwest Territories, hundreds of people are being laid off as production stops at one of Canada's open-pit diamond mines. As Jamie Strachan shows us, it's part of a growing trend reshaping the diamond industry.
This Toronto jeweler holds two diamond rings side by side, one mined from deep below the ground, one grown in a lab.
I always make the analogy of an ice made in your refrigeration system versus ice made outside in the cold. So physically they're identical. There's no difference whatsoever.
But there is one major difference, the price. The mined diamond is $35,000. The lab grown about $3,500. It's why many of his customers are turning away from mined diamonds.
It used to be 100% of our business prior to 2019. Now it's become basically 3 to 4% of our business.
Thousands of kilometers away in the Northwest Territories, where the diamond industry is a major employer, it's having a huge impact. Burgundy Diamond Mines is laying off several hundred employees after it suspended operations at one of its two main sites, blaming economics.
It's an extremely expensive place to operate. I mean, fuel prices are up with inflation, labor costs are up with inflation.
And as the cost of producing lab-grown diamonds has plummeted, the value of mined diamonds has remained virtually the same. Canada is one of the biggest global diamond producers, but with all three mines in the Northwest Territories slated to wind down by 2031, diamond mining could cease to exist altogether.
It took many, many years and many millions of dollars worth of effort to just find the diamonds, and we've been mining them since, the early 90s, and it might all be over soon, and that would be an absolute tragedy.
A diamond is forever De Beers.
For an industry crafted around building mystique, it appears to be losing its shine.
It's a luxury product. I mean, diamonds aren't something, people need. They're something that people want.
And for many, shopping for the perfect diamond ring, where the stone comes from, doesn't seem to matter. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
The first round of the search for BC's best symbol has come to an end. There was some nostalgic and interesting pair-ups this week from 4 different categories: animals, nature, coastal, and provincial. Here to give us a breakdown of what happened this week is Justin McElroy. Justin, what happened in the first round of the competition?
Janella, we got more than 250,000 votes from across the province. Everyone saying who they thought the best symbol in BC should be. And so you can see the bracket right here, 64 entries: animals, nature, coastal, provincial. And this first line on both of them eliminated as 32 different entries got defeated, which meant we had 32 winners. Here are 4 of them right here: the orca, Okanagan cherry, the BC flag, and the totem pole, all advancing along with 28 others. So next week is the second round. We have matchups like the best salmon in BC, sockeye versus Chinook. We have the best bear in BC, spirit versus grizzly. We've got Nanaimo bar versus BC roll. We've got tons of other matchups where people will be able to vote. With so much anticipation in the first week, we can imagine people's voting and angst being even bigger in the second round of this competition.
And is there a way to even say there's a potential favorite at this point?
Well, you have to look at what the polling in the first round showed. And so we had 8 things that were a number 1 or 2 seed in those 4 quadrants. All 8 of those advanced, but how they advanced was a little bit different. Let's take a look at this chart that shows the percentage that each of these won in their first round matchup. So if we go zoom in here, we can see totem poles dominating, getting 96% of the vote against condo. So you have to think they're going to be a strong matchup. But also Northwest Coast Art got 84.6% of the vote. Orca, 82% of the vote. Everything did really, really well except Red Cedar. Red Cedar only won with 58% of the vote in the first round. In the second round, they're going up against the Douglas fir, sort of a battle of the best tree in British Columbia there. So it'll be interesting to see whether an upset happens there. But otherwise, the things that we thought people would vote as the best symbols, they overwhelmingly did in the first round. But of course, democracy means anything can happen. Depends what the votes happen in the second round. But thus far, what we thought were British Columbia's top symbols are the ones people seem to be indicating they agree with. The question is, which one is the best?
May the best BC symbol win. Thanks so much, Justin.
Thanks, Janella.
Scientists in England are about to melt a sample of the world's oldest ice for climate analysis. It's a 1.5 million-year-old core taken from deep inside an Antarctic ice sheet.
So this is a really exciting project to work on because we really are exploring a completely unknown time in our history, and what we're hoping is we're going to unlock all these amazing secrets.
The ice core is believed to contain important information about Earth's climate history during a previously uncharted period. Scientists say the sample, drilled from a depth of 2.8 kilometers, holds atmosphere captured more than a million years ago. They say during that time, there's evidence to suggest that the ice sheets were actually smaller, sea levels were potentially higher, and carbon dioxide levels were similar to today. Thanks for being with us on CBC Vancouver News at 6. To keep up to date with all the latest news, head to our website at cbc.ca/BC. I'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock right after the National. Have a great night.